Hey! So, to be honest, I haven't been really interested in testing Excite Audio plugins yet. But then they got in contact with me to test Bloom Drum Percussion, and you know that I love percussions and drum machines and everything that has to do with that. And to be honest, I was pretty impressed by how deep these plugins can go, especially with the sequencer. I mean, on the surface, it looks like a preset-based plugin, and that's totally fine, but it actually has a lot of deep features to build your own custom sample collection. Now, this video is sponsored by them, but they let me say whatever I want about this plugin, and of course, I would have not accepted this sponsorship if I didn't like the plugin at all. Not only that, Plugin Boutique told me I was able to give away free licenses for the Lite version of this plugin. The Lite version is basically only the main screen, that means that you cannot edit the samples, but you have access to 75 different presets and you can apply the effects and whatnot. Besides, it's completely free with the code that's on the description. Now, they told me these licenses are limited, so go and grab yours before it runs out. So let me tell you everything about it. So on the surface, as I said, it invites you to explore different presets. Now it has very common type of percussions, but also some that are very experimental. So one of my favorite presets when I was first checking this was the experimental heavy. It's not only heavy as the name says, but also it's a little bit industrial, very experimental, and even a bit creepy. And I love it. So to have an idea, let's try and build a beat. Now, of course, if you want to change the sounds, you can do it by going to the deeper window. As you can see, you can assign samples for up to 14 different keys. And I gotta say, I like how they are thinking the keyboard. I mean, for the sounds, we have only the white ones, and on the black ones, we have different ways to affect the sequences. Because yeah, we can program up to 5 different sequences from A to E. And we can play them by pressing the corresponding key. Then with the left hand we can double or halve the tempo, increase 1 octave or decrease 1 octave, and also play the sequence in reverse. Of course, every preset has 5 different sequences to play with, but I'm going to show you how to program your own in a minute. Because first, let's check out the sampler. If you end up liking Bloom Drum Percussion, consider using my affiliate link that's on the description to buy it. That way a little commission goes back to me. You can use it to buy any other plugin from Plugin Boutique. To be honest, it's a pretty typical sampler. You have an envelope, different play modes, you can play it in a loop or reverse, and you can make a selection of a bigger sample. You can change the pitch, and what's interesting is that you can also change the format. This can create more synthetic and experimental kind of sounds that you know that I like. But still, it's a pretty standard sampler and it's very straightforward. For the sequencer, you just select where to store it, and also you select the sample that you want to trigger, and then you select where to trigger it. Now, besides the trigger, we can change the probability, the velocity, the pitch, the tag, the release, and the timing. Besides that, we have this perform sequencer that will add all of these different effects to individual steps. I like that the rolls can go up to 8, that gets it more glitchy, but all of the other different features also can give you a more experimental kind of beat. Now, maybe having to select all of the different samples to start triggering them can be a little bit too tiring, so thankfully we have this full screen mode where we can see all of the different tracks with their corresponding steps. Now, you know what gets me the most excited for any sequencer? and that's the possibility to play with polymetry, because polymetry also lets you program polyrhythms. And the way you do it is by disabling this chain. Now you can set different number of steps, different time signatures, different swing amount, and different types of swing. So with this, I'm pretty happy with this sequencer. Oh wait, it also has a randomization per track, which is excellent. Also, I like that this plugin is thought for performance too, because as I said, you can program up to 5 different sequences and then play between them. Now, there's one more feature that I'm looking right now, but it seems to not have it. And I know that this could be a very important feature for what's basically a drum machine. It's lacking a multi-output option. Maybe I'm just missing something, and if that's the case, let me know in the comments, please. But I can't find that feature, and usually Bitwig shows me automatically when the plugin has that feature. I think that's one of the only things that I think it's missing on this plugin, because sometimes I like to process each of the tracks separately, that is outside of the plugin. Especially considering that sometimes you have unique effects you like to use or for mixing. But still, for the price, it's very versatile and really fun to use. I gotta say that it's a nice percussion machine with a lot of features, and you can use your own samples to build a different kind of drum machine. But what about you? Let me know in the comments what you think about these plugins from Excite Audio. Thank you so much for watching, I will see you next time, and bye bye!